Paint. Let's Paint TV here. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to let's see. We hear you. Let's go here. Let's Paint TV in the house. Welcome back again to another exciting podcast from the Let's Paint TV headquarters here. I'm your host, Mr. Let's Paint. Excuse me. I'm feeling like have some phlegm. I don't know. Maybe not. Nevertheless, it's good to see you guys here. We're simulcasting it at the same time. So thanks again for hanging out. If you want to call the show, you can. 818-528-4516. Feel like I can't hear myself correctly, but maybe it's just I got these headphones on, and maybe that's what's making it all bad, making everything worse. But thanks again for being here. We got the thanks again for being on our listening to the podcast. Maybe you're out running or doing some exercise. I hope you are. Maybe I tried. Let me just see how many steps I got today. Boy, I probably should just get the headphones off because the headphones are bothering me. I'm way too aware of my some kind of nasal passage, some kind of sound problem. So let's just keep going without it, frankly, is probably what we need to do. Anyway, thanks again. It's a new year, is that not? It's a new year. Let's see how many steps I got in going here. 8,900 steps. 8,900 steps here. What are your New Year's resolutions here, guys? What are your new resolutions here? And we'll be happy to entertain that. NJ Vids is at 12,000 steps. That is awesome. I know. I think people I want to say people in Europe do a lot more walking, or for that matter, New York City do a lot more walking, and but everybody else who rely on cars, not so much. It's a problem. Happy New Year's to Karina. And we're trying this new thing here. We're doing a simulcast. I'm actually recording this this is a podcast. we're doing a podcast here, so you can listen to the podcast and then also look at me live at the same time. And I'm taking your calls if you want. And we're just going to focus on audio. At least once a week, we're going to do a podcast such as this. So until further. Warnings, schedules, until further notice. Thank you. All right. Anyway, so what are your resolutions? What are your New Year's resolutions? I don't have any. It's the same. It's the same. Just keep going, and keep trying some new. I guess this is maybe a new move, but it's really not. But it is. It's a different move because we're doing the simulcast. We're gonna we're over here on the audio section, so you can download the show over via the Anchor.fm. There's a few various platforms it gets aired on. Most notably Spotify. So make sure I'll put the link in the description box here later on. Not at the moment. I'm not going to do that. But anyway, we're here. We're taking your calls, 818-528-4516. Flipper wants to know what we're going to paint tonight. We're just going to think about painting. Maybe that, like what would you like to paint kind of thing. And in that sense, because we're talking about the audio, and we're trying to probably focus on what we're saying, and we're trying to connect with you, the viewer, more so audio frequency. And so because of that, I'm not going to actually do any painting today. Though I did do a painting today. I'm working on some watercolors here. I'll just show you. Let me show you. I can do that. I didn't, because it doesn't throw me off from my game. At least we don't lose too much air, dead air. All right, so these are some palm trees that I have that are that I can see from the backyard, and so this kind of finished, I guess, but not quite. Sounds good idea, but you need some good marketing. Oh man. Intel 4 Wizard. ain't that a shame? Ain't that the truth? Yes. Well, Let's Paint TV is not known for any kind of marketing of any sorts, and we're not known for really having any kind of connection with anything of vital importance, and as such, we are relegated to doing what we do. And I tell you what, there is something actually lively and wonderful about the fact that I am free, and because I'm in this position, there's no one asking me to do this. There's no one's telling me to do this. Though somehow it is in me to do it. But I do look forward to having some interaction and work with collaborative aspects, and just to get things going, make things work better, and just have a bigger reach for our agenda, because we have an agenda here. It seems like everyone's got an agenda. What is my agenda? What is the Let's Paint TV agenda? I'm not terribly sure always. I think I'm Flipper still rules. Flipper still rules says, yeah, fuck marketing. Well, I mean, I know what you're saying, but I would be happy to work and interact with that kind of world. I'm not going to go there. But what I'm trying to say is that you gotta be I think a self-starter and be true to yourself. And as Karina just says here in the chat room, paint till you die. Paint till you die. Be creative. Do creative stuff, and keep going. And that's what I'm doing, as you probably aware of, as I do just that. I keep doing stuff, and so I'm just saying the beauty of not being successful, because I think that's really the dinosaur in the gas station restroom. What's the gas station with the dinosaur? I love that dinosaur, the green dinosaur. Dino? No, it's some kind of gas station. There's some kind of gas station with a green dinosaur. I thought that was pretty cool. I still cannot believe how a dinosaur somehow has converted themselves. All those dinosaurs converted themselves into fossil fuels. Like all dinosaurs converted themselves into gasoline and oil. Like, it makes you wonder, like, when's the next ice age? We will then, all us human beings, because dinosaur age, that they ruled the world. They ruled the land, the globe. And we, the humans, we rule it the same. Nothing stops us. We murder hornets. We that's not going to stop us. Sinclair gasoline stations. Alex says, yes. So yeah, what the elephant, the dinosaur in the Sinclair restroom? I don't know. That's locked. They can't get out. Can we paint with gasoline and oil? Says Wade. You could, sure. Actually, I know an artist who I don't know if he has messed around with gasoline, but he has I've some of the pieces that I've seen him. He uses, I think, fire extinguishers or flame throwers. Wait, what is it? But he's also maybe best known for using flies to make artwork. So yeah, there's a lot of there. You could really do whatever you want, and that's the beauty of art, is that you really do not have to abide by any particular rules. And I'm just getting back to the beginning here. What you also don't have to abide by is success. When you're not successful, you are free to fly. You are free to do whatever you want to do, in the sense that because no one's telling you what to do. So then what is ticking, and you're not limited to basically success. Success can limit your horizons. Maybe it seems a little far-fetched, a little off in the sense, because you would think that, well, if you were successful, then you grow on your success. But you can be pigeonholed, or there's another term. You can basically paint yourself into a corner, and by doing so, then that's all they want you. That's all you get to do. That's all you do. And so there's a lot to be said about not being successful when you're an artist, because you can grow much more, you can develop much more, and you can accrue a crap load of art and goodies, such as myself, where I'm just saying that. I'm kind of joking, because I got a crap load of paintings here and stuff, so, which is a problem. So if you are, if you're looking for like the idea of zero emissions, like with the gasoline fueled cars, where there is no where the goal is that you run a machine so that there is no exhaust, and because you're just perfect, you don't even take a crap, because you're just humming so perfectly in your life and existence as a human being or as a machine, whatever. I don't know if that's the goal, but I think somehow technology looks for that as the goal. Somehow, maybe to prevent ice age melting kind of stuff. Anyway, so I think ideally, as an artist, not to throw you all off here, but ideally, I think as an artist, I think we all would love the idea of everything that we ever made. Everything we touch turns to gold. I.e., we sell it all, and then but beware of that. Beware of that, because success, again, has its limitations. You can go crazy. There's plenty of examples. Do we need to get into that? We could. All right, you're listening to the Let's Paint TV podcast. I am your host, Mr. Let's Paint, and just letting you know, thanks for being here. We're kind of simulcasting. This is I have done a few podcasts already, but this is sort of a new thing to do it live, because I think people kind of like to see a podcast live, and then we can read some chats, which is kind of fun. Let's see. What are the chats going on here? I'm kind of not listening or reading the chats, but I see you. Thanks again for being here. New year, new deal, a new deal. Okay, so INT4 Wizard says I didn't think you'd get so philosophical, but I'm here for it. Okay, yeah. Hey, look, I don't necessarily. It's just I think it's because it's a podcast. I feel like I when I start talking, I could minus the everything else that could happen from the demonstration mode of sorts of possibly Let's Paint TV. I think there is a philosophical aspect here. There could be some philosophical. Well, anyway, if you're welcome to call in the show, maybe you have a question. We take that, and again, this is we have a podcast. Check it out. It's on Spotify. Again, just look it up. Let's Paint TV. I'll put the link up. And we'll go from there. Again, we're just doing this. I think maybe just once a week, maybe. I don't know. We're just kind of playing around. Like I said, getting back to the fact that I'm not probably terribly successful. No one's telling me to do this. I'm just doing it. I think I could be. That just opens up the possibilities of a new horizons, new possibilities, and you're willing to take more chances. So what I'm saying is when you're successful, you can't take as many chances, which is kind of lame, but it kind of becomes that. You got managers, you got people over you, pushing you, agents. Well, we don't have that, so we're free to experiment. Doesn't always work. This might not work, but then life does not work. Always, life does not work. All right. Anyway, so thanks again for being here. And so yeah, I was working on these watercolors. So let's get back into painting. Talking about painting. It is, after all, a podcast about painting, or at least the life of a painter, or the frustrations of a painter, or at least in part it is that. It's not necessarily just that, as you well know. If anyone knows what we do here at Let's Paint TV, it's probably maybe at times only 10% painting. What goes together better than art and philo? Freedom, Max says. Yes. It is. I mean, look, I'm only saying that because I'm not terribly successful, though it could be said that I am successful, but not in that degree of being successful where, everything you touch is gold and everything you do is awesome and you got 1 million people watching what you do. No, and I'm just saying, enjoy that because. And I do, because really, I think there's you limitations ultimately start to come into play, and you're not actually able to just do some test drive. This is kind of like a test drive, basically. A test drive into just the ether. Because that's kind of what this is, the internet, podcasting, kind of an ether aspect of sorts. It's not really necessarily. It's a figment of your imagination. This world that we are in, and I think maybe because we're kind of hunkering down. Are you hunkering down? With this sort of virus deal that we got going on, how you guys hunkering down? Sure are a lot of people not hunkering down, are they? But anyway, I think more people have turned to the delights of internet and what have you, audio, internet, whatever. Mixed drinks? No, no mixed drinks. I got a little wine and some water. Let me drink some more water. I need to drink some more water. Let me drink some more water. As I mentioned, 8,900 square feet. No, 8,900 steps on my way to 10,000, which probably, considering that I'm not, it's nighttime and I'll probably, I might not get to 10,000 steps. I'd have to work at it. Oh, but I was going to say, I think Europeans, from what I gather, and people on probably more so on the East Coast, New York City, and probably people who take a lot of public transportation, where not people just have cars. I think people get their steps in pretty easily, because there's a lot of walking to the station and then just like, oh fuck it, I don't want to walk. I don't want to get on the, I can just walk that little 5 blocks. Oh, I'll just walk, no, you just get off here and then you gotta get off here and then transfer and then go 2 blocks. And he was like, no, I'll just walk the 2 blocks. So so I think there's more of that. Whereas if you got the car, I guess you got the car, you got to park it somewhere, and so if it's a busy crowded city, well then you got to park your car far away, maybe or maybe the parking lot, but how much of that is how much of walking are you doing, but count your steps. Let me know and tell me what you think. You feel free to let me know. All right, so if we can at least do that, what else do you guys got? I propose that you all should try to get the 10,000 steps going in here. Get the heart going, move your bones kind of thing, I'm a big promoter of that, I guess. Mac just spilled some water on himself, so that's good. At least it's water. It's not red wine or Coca-Cola. When I was a kid, it was I vividly, you remember like moments when you were a kid? And so this was an Easter day party get together on this ranch, some family member's ranch, and these were like distant family members that I had never met, kind of thing. You know how you deal with that sometimes. These distant family members, you're like, I don't know who you are, but I vividly remember being a kid, and it was like an Easter egg hunt for all the little kids, and sure enough, we were finding little Easter eggs, and and the Coca-Cola was tons of it. There was like a keg of Coca-Cola for the kids or something. There's just tons and tons of cans of Coke. I don't think they make kegs of Coca-Cola, but anyway, I do recall somebody pouring Coca-Cola on my head. I don't know if it's my brother. I suspect it was, and I have not forgotten. Not forgotten that. Still mad about it. But anyway, sticky. You get sticky hair. If you haven't done that, just know that your hair gets incredibly sticky from doing just that. So there you go. Memories. That was a look back into memory lane. All right, back to our point of contention, and that was, what are you painting today, or what were you painting, or what are you interested in painting? That's like an ongoing battle. I don't necessarily know always, but so I do resort to just painting basically whatever is sort of speaks to me, and a lot of times it's just landscape kind of stuff. So yeah, I worked on, I mentioned working on the watercolors, and those watercolors are a sort of a pain in the butt. Ultimately, they're not. It's not easy. Not easy, these watercolors, but you can. There's a dance. It's a dance. We can dance. We can dance. There's a song there, I think. And da, 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 da. And if we could dance, we can. Jeez, there's a song there. I know there's a song. Anyway, so again, not being terribly successful is a good thing. I'm just gonna tell you again. But just know, if you persevere, and if you can just kind of, if you can incorporate possibly the sort of the fact things aren't working out, but be aware of the fact of what's going on, and like with the watercolor, the wetness of the paper and the drying of the paper, and it is like a battle. Is a battle, and then it's sort of uncontrollable battle. You can't control it, really. I mean, I know you can. I know people do. I never liked that. I've never liked watercolors that have been controlled. I've always been a fan from the get-go on watercolors that have a flair of maybe just a little bit of a wild flair, maybe. Kimberly says, yes, watercolors are the most difficult medium. They probably could be. I think they really are. And I've lately played around with just adding white to them, and I think that kind of helps. But then now I'm burning out on using them, because I don't. In the end, that you lose, because ultimately, white watercolor paint is not translucent. It's really more opaque, and so it's kind of. I mean, you can still make a good painting using it. It just I think it's just one of those things where it's not. I mean, that it's sort of it's kind of a battle, frankly, with the watercolor establishment. Frankly, the use of using white paint or not, and I kind of learned early on to not use the white, and then if you were going to use the white, you would use frisket, and you know what that word is, frisket, some kind of silly operation that you put to protect the white paper so that you can then peel it off. That did not work for me. All that did was I got smudge marks, because I was trying to peel the stupid goo. It's like a rubbery liquid. Maybe they got something different nowadays. I don't know, but yes. But anyway, not to say that one should be so limited in what you're trying to do, based on techniques, and because you'll find what works for you, and so I'm kind of battling with that, because I do go back and forth with the use of white on my watercolors. How about that? Okay, helicopter flying overhead. All right. Well, thanks for listening to this bottom of the hour here, and I'm gonna take a little break, and we'll come right back for another the rest of the show. So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a minute here. All right. Thanks for watching my podcast. Okay, so you guys are watching from the live podcast, but now the way this thing works is that you can only record for a half an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and more helicopters. All right. So anyway, so we'll go back. We'll do another half an hour, and then I'm going to put the two together, and then we'll upload them over, and they'll be up on Spotify. The podcast. The podcast. Okay, you used to use the salt on your watercolors. Yeah, you know that is a fun thing to do. I always thought that was a fun thing to do too, but at some point you go, not feeling it anymore, and you go, okay, that's just kind of a fun thing to do, and then you just go, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. And I think that's kind of what the using white could be for me, but the verdict's not out for me. I'm not against it entirely, you know. Is that SWAT pulling up on you? Yeah. They do like to fly around. They do. They're big on the flying around overhead. Okay, so I don't know if I can start another one. Let's try another one. Here we go. Let's try another one here. Okay. All right. Okay, Let's Paint TV back again. Thanks again for listening to my podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Let's Paint, and we're going to be here for another half an hour talking to you about, I guess, art and painting, or really whatever is sort of on our minds. If you want to call the show, you can. We're also streaming here via YouTube Live, and you can find the link somewhere. I don't know where it is. YouTube Live / Let's Paint TV, I believe, is probably all you got to do, but I'm not terribly sure. Excuse me. But we have a live calls coming in while we're doing the show, and so that's your way to call in if you want to call in, talk to me, and maybe you got a question about painting. How about that? And it's not, like I said, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a successful artist, but I guess I'm working at it, and it's. But at least I have some kind of knowledge, and I have, I guess, been doing it for a while, and I have sold a few paintings here and there, enough to get by. Are we screening the calls? Wait a second. Let me see. You know what? I said I was taking your calls, but maybe the calls were not even open. I'm sorry. Here, if you want to call, it was not turned on. Okay, so I turned on the Skype. So if you want to call 818-528-4516, and we'll take your calls. You want to ask questions about, again, really the sort of the topic. What is, I guess, more or less not being terribly successful, but the success is by being exactly that, not being. I think you become more. You're more successful by not being successful. It's kind of it's a strange thing. It's a strange paradox, but I think in the art world, as an artist, you just have, as I say one more time, the sky's the limit, and I think. Maybe this is. So it's a fine line, because you kind of need some success, because that helps pay the bills. So take that get confused. By no means. Hopefully, you are confused at what I'm saying, because I am too. I'm confused about my own existence. Happy New Year's. Just once again, Happy New Year's. Anyway, taking your calls if you want to call in, 818-528-4516. All right. Yeah, so watercolor, so that's kind of my thing. And plus, I've been trying to clean up my mess. As I mentioned, I got tons of paintings here. And so I'm not really, I think I might have to throw away a few because they just suck. That's always a possibility. But what's nice about the watercolor, what the great thing, it's works on paper. And because of that, you don't take up much room. So that's good. You're not going to take up much room with works on paper. You can just store them. In fact, I picked up some used file cabinets from Craigslist, and so I got them there, and there's plenty of drawers, so I could just do works on paper for a long time and not fill up a bunch of space, like these darn paintings. All right, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. But by the way, just a note, those flat folding file cabinets, they're not. It's not a file cabinet. They're flat files. They're called flat file cabinets, I believe. You can look them up on Craigslist, and they are. They actually come in two sizes. I think it's actually more than two, but I think there's two kind of standard sizes. I didn't get the largest size, because I didn't see them available, and so I ended up getting. Okay, so I got two of these. And they're not cheap, brand new. They're like $600, I think. And but I ended up paying about was it $200 each? Yeah, I think so. So okay. But sure enough, literally a week later, I happened to look again on Craigslist, and someone was offering the larger size, the one that's like maybe about 4 inches wider, and they had two of them, and they were only asking like $100 each. And I'm like, oh man, but I had already, I did my thing, and so I'm gonna hunker down and work with what I got. Though that it might it's kind of like this. I remember this guy saying, you're as big as your goldfish. You're only as a fish is only as big as they can be in a fishbowl. I guess there's some sort of adage that if you're in a tiny fishbowl, you just don't grow too big. And I guess there could be something to be said with that. So is that saying that if you took a goldfish and put them in the ocean, they would become a gigantic fish? Maybe over time. If not, I don't think. I think what happens is not necessarily that fish in particular, but its offspring and its offspring and its offspring, blah blah blah. Thousands of years from now, that would be a gigantic fish, because I was in Death Valley years ago as a kid, and if you're not familiar with Death Valley, it's the lowest point in the United States, and but way back when, like in dinosaur times, it was an ocean of sorts, so it was salty, a salty ocean anyway. But there's still but now it's just a desert, but there are some little water creeks and stuff. And then so the park ranger said, yeah, take a look. You see those little fish? He said, yeah, those little teeny fish that are only like about 2 centimeters, half an inch at the. They weren't even that. They were teeny. And they said, yeah, those used to be gigantic fish way back when. And so over billions and billions. Hey, let's take a call. Our first call of the night. Hello, caller. Welcome to Let's Paint TV, the podcast.
Yeah, hi there.
What's going on? Who's this?
How you doing?
Who's this?
This is Noah. My name's Noah.
What's up, Noah? What's going on?
Hey, man. I just have a question. Big fan of your show, the old show you used to make. I was just curious about the production of it.
Yeah.
I'm curious kind of what inspired you to do it and what helped you with the production and stuff like that. And second question,
Okay.
I have a friend who's into graphic design.
Yeah.
Wondering if you have any advice for him throughout. He's trying to do it for a career, and so kind of curious what you have for advice for him to develop his creativity and be successful in that.
The advice there is just keep going. I mean, what works, and there's a lot of trial and error. It's all trial and error. So it doesn't, you're gonna find an endeavor like this. This is a total trial and error. Trying to do a podcast. Not, it seems to be working, but no. What is anyone listening? Or is that? But is that?
Yeah, my friend's watching right now, so
Okay.
that's why I was asking that question. I was more curious about like the show, like because it just is super like inspiring and kind of just crazy, and it really like helped my creativity and stuff. As funny as it was, so I was just, like curious, like where that came from in your mind, and like who helped you with that, or if anyone did, or like how you got that started. Because it seemed like it just came from nowhere, and it's just like all of a sudden, this guy on a treadmill's painting and stuff, and it's just like crazy. Like, how do you even develop those first steps to make that happen?
It's baby steps. It wasn't that initially. It was a how to paint show, in a sense. Those are things that just sort of happen. You just one thing leads to another. You can't. Okay, did we lose you? Or are you still there? Oh,
no, I'm here.
Someone else called. It's just not. It's not an easy answer in the sense that it's not like, I had a collaborative meeting, and I thought about it. No, you gotta just stink it up, and then you go, and so in the middle of the stink, like right now we're in the middle of a stink. I am right now just doing this, podcast, which I'm having fun doing, but at the same time, it's, you can tell I have nothing in the, no agenda other than just kind of rattling on. But something clicks, and then you start to sing, things start to gel. That's all it is. That's all life is. Things start to gel. Boom. But it's
so
not. Did
you gel with certain people, or certain people involved, or is it just you? And how did that happen? That's what I'm curious about, because it seemed like you had cameramen and producers. I'm assuming someone's editing. I'm assuming something like that.
It was
so like, how did that all come together?
That's public access. You have a crew working for you, and that is the beauty of public access. You have they're usually, at least someone's paid, and then there might be some volunteer people working the cameras, and boom, bang, bingo, they're making a show for you, and then they collaborate with you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it was. But I did so many of them, and they liked me, or at least some of them, not all of them. Some of them didn't like me, or well, no, I think they all kind of liked me, but whatever. But we got to be such a, I didn't have to even really fill out any paperwork to even tell them what I wanted to do. They knew what I wanted to do, and so that
it was. Let you do your thing, huh? That's something.
But
else.
it was also a relief for them, because they had to deal with all these other people coming in doing their shows, going, I want this, I want that, and then, they get all they think that this is like some, Academy Award television program, and it's like, dude, just you're never the shit is never gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. Get over it. You suck. So when I come in, I go, yeah, I know I suck. Let's have some fun.
Wow. Well, appreciate it.
All right. Well, that's true for a lot of the people there. I shouldn't bag on everybody, but I did. So, but it's kind of true.
Yeah,
it's kind of true. But I bagged on myself, so that's good. If you bag on other people, you should at least bag on yourself too. I think it's good.
I agree with that. All right. Take care, man.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, there he goes. If you want to call the program, you can. 818-528-4516. This is our podcast. We're trying to do more of a take calls with the podcast and also simulcast. Here it is, another call here. Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. Who's this?
My name is Jen.
What's up, Jen?
Well, not much. We're watching your show on Let's Paint TV, and we just love your show.
Oh, yeah,
My husband and I love your show.
All right. Thank you.
We just get so much enjoyment from it and so much encouragement.
Well, not always, but
you probably hear me too.
Sometimes.
I like watching these points dance with these poinsettias. I like. But wait, now it's confusing me because I'm hearing myself over there.
You guys are breaking up. I barely hear you.
Okay.
Did you like the poinsettias? The poinsettias I was working on.
We love the poinsettia episode when you
Okay.
dance around with poinsettias, and we're just really excited that you're on TV. We get a lot of encouragement from your show, and that's what we want to call to tell you
All
that
right.
we love it. We
Thank
love
you,
all
Jen.
your shows, and we're seeing more and more each day. We watched the other day. We watched Home with the Tin Man,
Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
you're
Yeah.
doing open heart surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an oldie but goodie.
But we love it.
That
and
is a good one.
we hope you
That's
keep
a good one.
going because we just love it. We're encouraged, and you're doing a great job. We just love it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you.
And yes, thank you so
right.
much. We appreciate
Okay.
it.
All right. There he goes. Jen and husband, boyfriend calling in. If you want to call the program, can 818-528-4516. Yeah. If you have questions about painting, maybe, I'd be happy to answer it. It is Let's Paint TV. Like I said, we're doing the podcast kind of idea. I think the idea is once a week we'll be doing that. At the very least, I'm not really certain how we'll go with this, but we could do it every day, frankly. Hello, caller. Who's this? Hello.
Hello, I am Noah. So
Yeah.
I could ask anything about, what was it like to be on Eric Andre, what was it like to meet him, how's your career going?
Yeah, well, we get
I'm more
that all the
interested in-
time. We get that all the time, so it's kind of hard to answer that.
Yeah, well, I'm just more interested in you.
Yeah, all
if
right.
this is an all right question, what do you think, if you could tell your younger self anything, what do you think you would say?
Just, hang in there.
Interesting.
Keep
Is that
painting.
to anything
Keep painting.
specific,
Keep
or-
painting. Keep painting. Keep painting. Just, enjoy the painting. For me, painting is really the most. That's where I find solace and happiness and contentment. All that stuff. I
that's
feel.
awesome, man.
And it's not just painting, also performing. This, because we're not really painting. Say, we're trying to focus on the audio. So that too is also, so just do something. Keep doing it. Keep trying.
Yeah. So how did you find painting as in, a passion for you?
Well, something you just get going on in an early. I think it's one of those things. You if you get led into it early on, it helps. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm pretty interested in art and animation and stuff like that. So
yeah, well,
that's something I've always
then
do.
you just take classes. You just take the classes and keep taking them. Not all classes are going to be good. You're going to have some professors that you hate. They're not, and they're not, and you feel like you're not learning anything. And then, ironically, sometimes that professor who you hate is actually the one that instilled some kind of ability that you still have to this day. So what you hate or not so much hate, but like just, I don't know, frustration or whatever, could be actually you could be benefiting from it. So it's all good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks
have an
for
amazing
calling
day.
in again. We usually take one calls a day, but all right. Thanks for calling in.
All right.
Okay, there he goes.
Thank you.
Calling in twice. We will start to have to impose the one call a day rule, but nah, it's okay. He had some legitimate questions, which is nice. So anyway, so this is a podcast. If you're not familiar with the podcast, it's just audio, but you get to see the behind the scenes, I guess. So if you happen to be listening to the audio portion, like on Spotify, which is would be under Let's Paint TV, then you would be you could switch over and see the live the videoing, how it's done, how I do it, how we do it here at the Let's Paint TV studios, behind the scenes. Pretty exciting here. I'm excited by this new endeavor of the podcast. All right, so hopefully you guys enjoy it too. So Flipper still rules. I got an idea. What if you played Call of Duty and painted at the same time? Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about video games. I'm like very I'm illiterate. I have zero knowledge of video games, but maybe that could be something to deal with, play with at some point. But that's a great idea. I do have made a video game, first person painter video game. That you could check that out on YouTube. I made a few videos on that. I was going to do more with that. I've done a lot of things where I was like I was going to do more with, kind of like probably like this podcast idea. I'll probably like move on to something else. And that's kind of, I mean, maybe that's kind of problematic, with that, so maybe you have such a great idea or it's a fun idea and then you don't develop it. That's just the way it goes, But anyway, that's the life of an artist, I think. All right. So anyway, hopefully you're still getting your 10,000 steps in, guys. Keep going. If you're listening on your iPod. Who's still got iPods? You got an iPod? Are you exercising right now with your iPod and doing the Jane Fonda workout with iPod and listening to my podcast? Probably not. But you could. I think it's possible. Maybe not with an iPad, but you could definitely still do a Jane Fonda workout. And that would get to your 10,000 steps. I think that would do, I think you'd be good. All right. Anyway, you're watching and also listening to our podcast. S&M Bikes. Shout out to them. They love us. They love you. They love everybody. It's good. Lots of love. Lots of love out there in the chat room. So yeah, we got the chat room going on, taking your calls, 818-528-4516. It's the Let's Paint TV podcast. We're going to go for about another 8 minutes, I suppose. And then that will probably just be about it. Tom rode his bike in the ice, snowed 4 miles. Oh man, I want to do that. That sounds kind of treacherous, but I would kind of love to do that. Now, were you doing that with a bunch of cars and vehicles and whatnot, so that you could possibly get run over? That's the part I don't like. In terms of bicycling in the city, but for some reason, the snow and the ice, I just imagine like kind of like a very empty, country road kind of thing, where you're not really worried so much about being run over on a 4-lane road, like on a major highway kind of boulevard kind of deal. Which to this day, there's still people doing that. And then, people bicycling. And I look, I used to do this, bicycle on these gigantic roads here in Los Angeles. These 4-lane, boulevards, boulevards. It's not like a 2-lane road. Anyway, regardless of that, and then you see these white bicycle things here and there with little shrines with this white bicycle. Have you seen those? And they're dotted all over L.A. And I don't know if maybe that's common in other cities. And what that means is that someone got run over on their bicycle, and I don't know if they died, but I do believe that means that someone got run over and they died, which is terrible. But I just don't think it's safe to ride your bike on these major roads. I'm not a big fan of it. Like I said, I used to, though. When I thought maybe I was a little bit invincible, I guess is probably what the deal is. When I didn't even wear a helmet, like a bike helmet. Now I wear a bike helmet. But a lot. Who also rides bikes a lot here in Los Angeles, and this could be something too that you might see in other cities or whatever, are kind of like parolees. A lot of parolees, who can't get licenses. You'll see a lot of them riding bikes, but probably you will not see them wearing a bike helmet. But sometimes the police will look at you, because the reason why I brought that up is because the police will cruise, and they know that, and so you see them cruising around, and then they give you a double look, because I don't wear like bike pants or I kind of look like a bum too, so I could also be looking like a homeless guy too, and which also a lot of people they like to ride bikes, homeless people, because it's a good form of transportation, and also they can't really get a car license. You got to get insurance. So it's a great form of transportation. But the police are keen on. They know. I think they kind of. Anyway, I've noticed that they give you that look, but then they don't look so much because I'm wearing a bike helmet. Just a note of observation, I guess. Anyway. All right, it's wintertime. Sun's kind of going down. This podcast is going down. Helmets always. Things are rough in Oakland for cycling, says Tom. Yeah, I would imagine. That was my old neck of the woods, and it was not a great bicycle place. Though you don't have that many 4-lane roads like here in Los Angeles. I mean, you do, but there's only a handful. Here in LA, you have hundreds of these 4-lane, 2 lanes going each way with people parked, with their cars parked, and it's like, I don't know why or how anyone who rides a bike would ride on those lanes. It seems way too dangerous. And I guess that's why they're putting the making the little space for the bike lanes, which, okay, do that. But they did not have that way back when. So, opinion on painting. We have an opinion? You have an opinion, or you're asking for my opinion? I don't know the question, but it is Let's Paint TV. So that's you found the right podcast. We're talking about painting and just sort of life of an artist in general, I guess, maybe until further notice, and maybe we'll change it up. Just sort of making use of the idea of doing a podcast. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. We're kind of coming to the end here, so. What did we talk about? We talked about just a little bit of everything, but ultimately it was, I think, to sum it up, it's the life of an artist, and where to go, and what to do, and also it's the new year. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? All right, so. Thanks again for hanging out doing this podcast. We're going to kind of close the shop here again at the top of the hour here. I'll take your calls after the show. We'll take your calls. Just wait a second. I'm going to say good night to good day to everybody in the podcast world. Thanks again. Check me out on letspainttv.com. And check out my next podcast. If you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And we always like suggestions and opportunities. Buy some paintings. You can find all that at letspainttv.com. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for another Let's Paint TV podcast. Bye-bye. All right. So that's it. We did a podcast. Congratulations, everybody. All right. We'll hang out just a tad bit longer. Let me just take a little break. All right. So there's our podcast. What did you guys think, man? The podcast. Was that good? Was that fun? No. It was 2 podcasts, but I'm putting them together. So it's an hour podcast. It's 2 half-an hours. Because I think people tend to have, people do an hour. It's pretty common to have an hour podcast. All right, tell me what you guys thought. Was that good? How was the audio? How was taking the calls and all that? Probably wouldn't hurt if I had some ideas. But then again, honestly, I think I'm just fine just rattling on. But then again, maybe not. I could use some direction. I could use some management. Some controls. Limit my creativity. That's what I could use. Direction. They call that direction. It was pretty smooth, says Flipper Still Rules. Where can we listen to it later? It was dope. Okay, I'll tell you how we do it. It's over on Anchor.fm. I might be able to... Yeah, I think I'm going to put it up right now. Okay, let me put it up right now. Okay, let me see if I can do this. All right, let's see. Click to upload or drag files. Okay, so I'm going to do No, it's a little tricky because, well, I'm just, okay, we'll put that one there. Okay, sponsor, we'll put a sponsor segment in there. Add another sponsor segment. I don't know if we can do that. Whatever, maybe not. Add, okay. Now this one. Shoot. Wonder if okay, so this might be a little, this might not work. I can't tell if what I put up was what I put up. Which ones goes first? I don't see the timeline. Shoot. Okay, well, let me play with this. It's not a done deal at the moment because it looks like it's not going to. I'm going to have to test it. All right, so let's not worry about it at the moment. It's not. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Spotify. Yeah, you can find it on Spotify. I'll put the link in the description box here. When I figure that out, so I'll probably sign off here and then I'll sign off and then I'll put that in the description box. It's just some red wine. All right. Well, that's going to be it, I guess. I don't really have anything else. Let me put that up on the audio and let me work on that. Let me see if I can put the two together. All right, well, so Happy New Year's. Who's controlling the cameras? This is automatic. It's automatic. It's an automatic deal. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off and great shots. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm going to do the podcast necessarily tomorrow. But we could. Maybe we do a podcast every day. Maybe that's kind of way to go, Well, let's see. What are you doing tomorrow night, John? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Well, I kind of like the idea of just doing the podcast and not doing any painting and just kind of hang out. So we might do that. Also, I'm going to be doing a QVC programming where I'm going to be selling my presidential inauguration plates, and so I might break out that tomorrow. Even we'll see what I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So But we're going to put this up online and see how this plays out and then go from there. All right. Thanks again for hanging out in the chat room. And I'll put a link to the YouTube video to the podcast in the description box, or a link to my podcast, whatever, there in my description box, which I need to do. So I'm going to do that next. So I'm going to sign off, and then I'll figure out how to do this. So with that in mind, I will say good night now. Good night. All right, let's take this next call. One more call. Hello, caller. Who's this?
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm calling. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, yeah. I was watching your watching here, and I'm brainstorming like topics.
Yeah.
And ideas for the podcast.
Gotcha.
And I'm thinking like the topics of your interest, or
yes,
like I'm thinking of them. I can think of a few topics already. I don't know if I want to get political or not.
Well, I mean, we could. I steer away from that to some degree, but it does kind of rear its ugly head a little bit. But
yeah. Christ, now that I'm talking, I can't think of the things I was thinking about. Let's see. Could talk like no one talks about the Mandela Effect anymore since the COVID. So that's not a good topic. Okay. Oh, here's one. The kids don't want to work. I got kids that my young kids, they don't want to work. My adult children. There's a topic.
Yeah.
What's up these days with that?
Gotcha.
There's a topic.
Gotcha. What's up with those kids? Slackers.
Yeah, slackers. What's up with the millennials?
Yeah, what's up with them?
How come they're slacking?
Yeah, what's up with them?
I want to come up with a song sometime on a ukulele for you sometime here too. So I'm just brainstorming, and I was hoping you'd do a podcast also tomorrow. Let me brainstorm so
okay.
I can.
I probably will. No, I think I might. I think I want to try to go hard on the podcast because like I said, I'm not saying I'm painted out because I'm still painting. It's just I'm kind of interested in more performing and not so much painting or I don't know what I'm doing, but I like the idea of doing the podcast. And maybe do people do a podcast every day? Because it's not too hard to do. It's just me talking.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. I just want to think of some good things to call with and some good topics, Can you get another? It's only one caller at a time, right?
Yeah. At the moment, I don't know. I'm only good for one caller at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe one day I figure that out.
Yeah. So I don't want you to get discouraged. I don't want you to get discouraged on this podcast. I like it.
All right.
And I'm thinking, like I said, I just wanted to call you to let you know. My name's John.
All right. What? So will you listen to the podcast like when you're doing your, walking to the grocery store kind of thing?
Well, I watch a lot of TV, so that's how I'm watching you now.
You're doing more
TV on YouTube.
You're doing more TV, yeah. But you like the idea of watching the fact that someone's doing a podcast somehow.
Yeah, as long as I know what time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I got a smartphone. I could do it that way. I could be driving and talking and listening. Just listening.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's the idea.
Yeah, and just even like views on topics. It could be any kind of topic, like way people are dressing or I don't know, holidays.
Yeah. Well, we get into it, but
any old thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Definitely possible. Views on topics. I do.
Yeah.
I do not. I try not to get too. Political for the most part, and then.
Yeah.
And then I don't try not to.
You got to watch it that way because people are so sensitive. There's a topic. Why come everyone's so sensitive?
Well, look, I don't
that's
make
a sensitive topic.
But at the same time, I don't. I generally don't make any bones that where I'm coming from, and but
Yeah.
I don't have much room for sort of the insanity of it all. So that's why I just sort of leave it.
Uh-huh.
I don't engage in it much, frankly. I leave it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're keeping it cool. We're keeping it collective, right? Keep it.
Yeah. Well,
keeping it real.
Yeah, I think. I mean, but it can't. It does show up. It does show up, but it's not. It's not a big part of what we do. No.
Yeah. Well, I just want to let you know. Are you gonna? Do you have a set time on the podcast?
Well, lately it's been 6 p.m. Pacific.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what it's been lately.
Well, you can count on me listening.
All right, John.
To that.
All right.
So thank you.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for calling in. Okay, there goes John. All right, like I said, I'm going to sign off, and now take a look. I'm going to try to string together those 2 half-an-hour clips onto the via the Anchor.fm, which then feeds into Spotify. Blah blah blah. But I'll have the link for you. Give me about a half an hour or so, and we'll figure it out. Okay. All right. So that was fun. I enjoyed talking. This is something that honestly I've been playing with for years, and I don't really have too much trouble yapping and talking in the first place, and also there's quite a bit of it where it's kind of meaningless and it doesn't really add up to anything. But that's part of the charm, I think. All right, Shasta, there you go, Shasta in the chat room. Okay, I'm going to sign off, and so check it out in a minute. I'll put the link in the description box. Otherwise, you could find me, just Let's Paint TV. I'll post it up in a sec. All right, I'm going to work this out and figure this out. Okay, over and out, and Happy New Year's. We'll see you again tomorrow. We'll give it another shot. And then the other thing I got planned, again, is I'm going to be doing be selling my presidential inauguration plates soon. So, okay. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.